Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, it's your Wednesday podcast. We've just wrapped up the show and it was really fun today.
It was a lot of fun, Phil. I think we're all jandaled out there, aren't we?
We are a bit jandaled out. There'll be no more. You can be rest assured we've put jandals to bed. They won't come back out again. But lots of fun. Today, I think, we've got some of Chris Tomlin, who is an incredible songwriter. You might know this. This song, I actually just love that we've got to play his little snippets from his songs over and over again because I just love them.
They're nice songs.
Have a bit more of the conversation with Chris. But another highlight, we've never done it before, but during the show we did our best and we managed to pull it off, a live link with New Zealand.
That was cool.
That was cool, wasn't it?
They were nice people.
So some of the relationships very strong between Rhema in New Zealand, which is a Christian radio broadcaster. They have other media as well, and Vision. So we organised a link with their breakfast team.
Yeah.
So we were on radio with them. They were on radio with us. Brilliant.
It was good.
So we could ask.
And it was funny.
It was. We were having a great time.
They had sharpened wits, didn't they, Phil?
They did.
That's how I described
We
them.
decided that we need to do that more regularly because
I think so.
We found it quite fun. We could be besties.
We could be.
We could be.
Across the Tasman.
We could go over then and they could come here.
Now, that's a good idea, Phil.
In fact, let's start pushing that.
We need to explore that, don't we?
I'm not a fan. Robbo, if you're listening, New Zealand, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, they're ahead of us too, aren't they?
Well, they are.
So
It would be an easy live if we did brekkie from there.
yeah. Our
We'd be
6
getting
a.m.
up.
is their 8 a.m.
So we would
That's
be
very
sleeping
doable.
in. In fact, permanently we could just
Relocate.
do the breakfast from here.
Why not?
It'd be like a normal
New Zealand,
day.
from
That's
Auckland.
not dumb, is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
As long as you don't cop too many jandals. I don't really want to
that
cop
is a
too many
dangerous
jandals
place
living
by
over
the
there.
sounds of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave that with us. But for now, we'll leave you with this today's show. Enjoy.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform, and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
Good morning. It's your Wednesday. You're waking up with Rise and Shine. Fel and Andy with you this morning, giving it the jandal as we get into the day.
Oh, I gave the jandal to get here today, Phil.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now, if you're not sure what that's all about, yesterday we had quite the chat about this turn of phrase that Andy's introduced into the vernacular here, giving it the jandal. I was a bit dubious as to whether that was even a thing, so
Yeah.
we've put the call out. Is this actually a real thing? The internet, i.e. our Facebook page, seems to believe it is, and
Yes.
there's quite a few comments we'll be digging into throughout the morning. But I wonder, Andy...
Well, Andy doesn't lie, Phil. This is what you've
No,
learned from this
right,
experience.
well.
Andy doesn't
No,
lie.
well, I
Even
never
when he's
said you
preaching,
lied.
he's telling the truth, you know?
Even when it sounds like it's impossible. Is that what I'm learning?
You just got to hang on, Phil, and just believe. Just keep believing.
Hang on for the Andy ride.
That's it.
But you know what I think we should do today?
What?
We're going to try behind the scenes to see whether we can get a live link
Yep.
to our Cuzzy Bros in New Zealand.
Awesome.
So Rhema is a great friend. It's a Christian radio station in New Zealand.
Yep.
See if we can get their brekkie crew on the line with us
That's a good idea.
to ask them about this.
Let's do that.
Because they're actual Kiwis. They're in location.
They're living the New Zealand dream, Phil.
Okay, so hang with us. We'll try and get this together, I reckon, in the next hour. See if we can get in touch with them. Also, Chris Tomlin, how good was it chatting to him yesterday?
Amazing.
So excited. Songs like this one. How many billion downloads does he have?
8 billion.
8 billion downloads, yet he took the time to have a chat with us. We'll have a little bit more of that conversation that was kind of put aside.
Yeah, and I found out he was a Texan, which made me like him even more, Phil. Once I knew that he was a Texan.
So we'll bring you up to speed with what Chris Tomlin had to say about this incredible hymn, the first hymn, coming up next. But to take us there, let's have a listen to it. This is the song. There's a documentary coming out tomorrow. Well, it's officially in cinemas just for a week. The first hymn, 1,800 years in the making.
Rise and shine on Vision Christian Radio.
But isn't it a beautiful song?
Gorgeous song, but the idea behind it is actually so exciting. You
Yeah.
can listen to it and go, that's a nice song. But actually, it was taken from a little piece of papyrus that was found by archaeologists with a little piece of some lyrics and some music on it from the early church 1,800 years ago.
In Egypt, 1,800 years ago. And having been to the first hymn premiere, Phil, everyone that came out of the cinema said this, wow.
Wow.
That was the word.
There you go.
Everyone was blown away by the story. So when you know the story, the song's even better.
So there is a documentary called The First Hymn. We've had some launches, but now across the nation it will be available in cinemas for about a week. We're saying a week and hopefully longer, but let's just go with a week. So try and get in if you can this weekend while it's in the cinema. And yesterday, to help us as we're getting an idea of what to expect going along to this documentary, was Chris Tomlin, who had a chat to us. Now, Chris has had 8 billion downloads.
Streams on all
Imagine
platforms.
that. Songs like this banger.
It's a banger, all right.
This is my favourite. Or this one, you might know, Indescribable.
That's a good one.
How good is that?
Yeah.
Maybe this one. 30 years Chris has been writing songs that we sing in churches across the world. He took some time out to have a chat to us. And one of the things that was really inspiring as we're having a discussion with him was when he talked about the first hymn, Andy, he said, hey, there's some of these elements which when you really think about what was happening in the world at the time, like 1800 years ago, what was the early church like? It was difficult.
Well, in Egypt, they were being persecuted.
Yeah.
They were living in the midst of persecution.
It was a tough era. And yet we see in this hymn these countercultural lyrics. And so we did ask him, can you give us an example of one of these?
One of my favorites is the last line of that was found in this scrap of papyrus says to the only giver of all good gifts. Yeah. And for us, again, that's like, oh, that's nice. We've sung that before. We've said that before. But there's something powerful about the word only. And what John Dinkson told me and helped me learn, who is the historian who has really brought this to life, is he during that moment of time in that culture, pagan worship, when they would come to worship, when people would come to worship the pagan gods, the Greek god Zeus, whoever, they would come with a call to worship to the giver of all good gifts. That's how they would present themselves to these pagan gods. And for this band of believers to say to the only giver of all good gifts, this was speaking to their culture, and it's just powerful to me to say to the only giver of all good gifts, amen, amen. And for the tune, the melody of this song to be a common melody of the day. When you think of ancient songs, for me in the church, it's usually I go to monks chanting for some reason. I go to these big sounds, right? These big high church sounds, and to think that this is the oldest song ever found, and it was the melody was the common melody of the common people. It really speaks to these people were reaching into their culture and what we try to do today, right, with songs. And so it really is there's a beautiful marriage, I think, over these 1800 years. And so that's very powerful to me.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's like a declaration of faith. And look, you've mentioned names. You've said Ben, who's Ben Fielding, an Australian songwriter, and also you referred to Dr. John Dixon, the historian behind that. Both Aussies, Chris. So you're working with two Aussies there. What was it like being outnumbered by two Australians on this project?
I mean, I don't know what it is, but you Aussies, you're just everywhere in my life.
Oh, good.
And it's just like you're always the best. It's always the best people, and I love it.
Well, we'll take that. When Chris Tomlin says Aussies are the best, I think we say, yes, we know that.
Well, I think he's worked out Aussies, Fel. He knows that Aussies like to hear that. So I'm sure, if you analyse it, the Christian music coming out of Australia has been cutting edge the last 20 years. So he's had a lot of interaction with Australians, I suspect. So I'd say he knows Aussies pretty well.
It's such a great chat. That was Chris Tomlin. He's had 8 billion downloads and had a wonderful chat with us about this first hymn documentary, which will be out in cinemas this week, coming out tomorrow. They always release them on a Thursday. Great excitement.
Yes, it's a good day for releasing, isn't it?
It is. So check out your local guides to find out if it's showing near you, and you were saying, Andy, great opportunity to bring someone who's doesn't know Christ yet, because it's an easy one to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's not embarrassing. It's not cringeful. It's really well made. Like you can take a non-Christian friend or family member, and it's a quality production. Whether they believe in Jesus or not, they're going to go, wow, that's an amazing story, and it's been really well documented, well produced. The videos, it goes to Egypt, it goes to America, Australia. Like you see all these different parts of the world. It's a good doco.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Check out your local guides for all those details. We've also found a little bit more of our discussion with Chris that we haven't played yet, so we will be bringing that to you about an hour and a half from now. Coming up next, though, this little phrase has caught our attention.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first, gave some jandal.
That phrase...
Kiwi race car driver speaking there after coming either
Scott
first or
McLaughlin.
second in a race. Gave
Giving it some jandal.
He gave it the jandal.
We're
Fel.
on the hunt to find out more about this jandal and what it can do. We'll find out where it all started.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
Giving it the jandal, Phil.
Jandal, the jandal. Got to get that right. We got talking yesterday about this turn of phrase. Andy, you've introduced it into like Australia now. I don't know that it was common. Well, I'd never heard of it before.
Well, definitely to the Vision family anyway.
Yeah, definitely. You said to me at some point, hey, Fel, do you give it the jandal when you drive?
That's right.
A bit like Scott McLaughlin. He's a racing car driver, and he was going in a race, and at the end match interview,
The post-race interview, we'll call it.
Let's thank you. He says this.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first, gave some jandal.
He knows how to give the jandal,
He
Phil.
apparently did know how to give the jandal. So we got talking about it yesterday. Hey, is this a thing, firstly? If so, what does it mean?
Well, I'm sure in New Zealand when racing car drivers are trained, part of their training is give it the jandal.
You reckon?
There's probably a little sign that just pops up in front of them in the simulator when they're practicing. Give it the jandal. Okay, they
This
just
is
know.
the moment.
That's how they know. Okay, game on now.
Push.
Time
Because
to go.
in F1, they say push, push. Like, that's the thing. Push, push, which is kind of the my sophisticated F1 way of saying give it the
Give it the
jandal.
jandal. In New Zealand, it wouldn't be push, push, Phil. It'd be give it some jandal. And they would be like, boing, yes, we're on. We're on.
No, we have put the call out. 1-800-316-316. What else could you use the jandal for? Is there more to the jandal? Is this even a thing?
Can you handle a jandal?
Can you handle the jandal? And look, Fuddy gave us a call, and this in particular just made us laugh, but also it helps us to set the scene that it is actually a thing. Fuddy, tell us about this jandal.
Oh, yeah, it is. So, like, you can also give it the jandal, or you can get the jandal,
Oh,
or you're going to get the jandal.
you gotta get
So
the
there's
jandal.
different tenses of this. What happens if because someone suggested that I give Andy the jandal. Is it a violent term?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's violent.
Oh, in that case, HR, don't listen.
So it's kind of like it's the Kiwi version of the rod of discipline in the book of Proverbs, is it? You give it the jandal, like you give someone the
You'd
jandal.
rather be disciplined with a jandal. They're pretty soft.
Yeah, that'd be a nice discipline instrument. Is that what you mean when you give someone the jandal? Does that mean you actually hit them with a jandal, or is it just a metaphor for hitting them with something?
You're going to give them a slap with a jandal.
A slap. A jandal slap.
Have you ever given a jandal slap out to anybody?
Maybe.
It's like, how much do I have to give
And
him?
have you received a jandal slap as a kid?
Oh,
Were you
as a
disciplined
kid.
with a jandal by your parents?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Totally.
I was driving along in the car. If your kids aren't going to be quiet, you're going to get the jandal.
I love it. I love it.
So as a parent, you could be giving it the jandal on one foot with your foot down, and then on the other side, you could have another jandal in the back because you got two of them.
Giving the kids the
Giving
jandal.
the kids the jandal.
Double jandal.
The jandal is really being used for so much.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
that's right.
Are you, when you drive, do you give it the jandal?
Yep, and then like one time we were with our parents and we had this old car and we're trying to get up a hill and it was like Fred Flintstones, you know, like Dad yelling out, right, you kids, get your foot out the door and give it the jandal.
Give it the jandal.
Just imagining all four doors going out, these four little feet coming out and they're just running up the hill trying to push the car.
I'm sure there's lots of Kiwis out there with lots of stories about the jandal.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
So do you
dear.
sometimes threaten people, say, hey, watch it, or I'm going to give you the jandal? Threaten
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Well then, Andy, the people are speaking here.
Is
We
it-
should have more jandals here in the studio.
Does the New Zealand Police Force use jandals as well? Like, do they carry jandals around, you know, like...
Oh, well, probably, because they're all Kiwis, you know.
That'd be quite smart, actually, wouldn't it? Because it would disarm some.
Well, my understanding is the Kiwi police don't carry guns, like the British police,
Right.
the English bobbies. Yeah, they
At
were
least
like the
have a
English
jandal
bobbies.
on
So at
you.
least have a jandal, yeah, you know.
tucked into the belt.
That's it. Jandal, pepper spray,
We are good to go.
that's right, taser.
They
Which
could
one do
get
you want?
oil
What do you
with
want?
the jandal, wouldn't it?
Oh, that was funny sharing about the jandal and, extensions thereof.
The jandal is real in New Zealand, Phil.
We have put a post up that is asking if you know anything about the jandal to let us know. All things jandal are open for grabs, and there's some very funny conversations happening there. Michelle says she lived in New Zealand when she was little, thought jandals were sandals, so loves that we're getting that out. Give it the jandal. She's up for that. Alison Doughboy, honestly had forgotten about it, but she says she regularly uses the jandal to kickstart
a
quad bike or horse, ute. But Nolene probably takes the cake here. Nah, a jandal's not a subject you study, bro. You just hear it coming at you and it's too late. It's your first warning from mum. And if you keep going, that jandal has other surprises for you. So there you go.
Flying jandal.
The flying
and of course,
jandal.
we're not endorsing flying
None of
jandal
that.
as a form of therapy or discipline.
No.
You go with your own conscience, but it's a good thought, though, isn't it? A flying jandal coming at you.
I just imagining this shot of a jandal. You look up, you're doing something naughty, and then a jandal's hitting you in the head.
But if they're just those really cheap floppy ones, they don't really hurt.
Well, that's the thing. And
It's more like a message than an actual instrument of torture. Yeah, it's
Indeed.
just like...
Well, that's something. But jump on in. We'd love to hear from you this morning. 1-800 316 316. Have you been given it the jandal for a while, or is this new to you? Either way.
Well, we know, Phil, you've never given it the jandal.
I don't give it the jandal.
That's where this conversation all came from, because I knew you'd never given it the jandal. That's why I asked you.
And he called it.
It was a loaded question.
Never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Is that what
right.
it is?
I mean, if I'd said, do you put the foot down, Phil? Do you give it the jandal? Do you
break the law?
Do you put the slipper in? That's another way of saying
it.
Put the slipper in.
You do not.
That's another saying in Australia. Put the slipper in. Yeah, you use the slipper.
Can you write a book on these or something for me? I feel like I need a cheat sheet on how to talk to Andy.
I feel like you've never done any of them and you never will, Phil.
No, that's right. I'm not planning
Your
on
only hope of being in a vehicle where someone's given it the jandal is when you're getting an Uber driver take you somewhere and he's in a rush.
And even then, I'd be saying, you slow down or you get a 1 star.
Mr. Uber.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast. Rise and Shine.
Are you ready for a challenge? Listen to the mystery sound, correctly name the Bible story, and win a great prize. Sounds easy, but is it? Rise and Shine's Bible Story Sound Off.
Well, here we are, Phil, the world's greatest Christian game show.
It's pretty simple. We play a sound. You at home guess which Bible story it might come from. It sounds easy.
Well, it is easy, Phil.
Well, theoretically, it's
And it's getting easier every day because we're allowing more sound to be played.
Okay, well, here are a couple of seconds of the sound that we have at the moment. Well, there you go. So there is a little bit more. I'll play it one more time. The other thing that helps is that we know a couple of guesses that it's not. Here are some of the wrong guesses so far.
I reckon it might be the Egyptians going through with their chariots through to the Red Sea.
With more Noah's Ark. Is it when Joseph gets thrown into jail after getting falsely accused?
No, none of those.
They were all great answers,
But we always say they're great answers.
And we love our young listeners calling up that
Gabby.
first Gabby. Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant answer there. But look, your job at home now is to match the sound to a story. Give us a call. You could be the hero of the nation today if you
Yes.
get this right.
Yes.
We're going to call you a hero. 1-800, not understating
national
it.
hero.
A national hero. I'm not going to understate
You can
it.
solve it today. You think Albo will recognise it?
Well,
Penny
that's
Wong?
a day. Do you reckon
And
they'll
we'll
give it a
contact
day?
Penny Wong's office. Penny, is this person a national hero? They know this story from the Bible
Yeah.
sound
Can
of
we
it.
get you a star or something? A Walk of Fame? Maybe we should start that here at Vision.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it happening, Phil. But
You never
anyway,
know.
we can try.
We will be celebrating you as our own Vision hero then.
Yes.
We'll take it off the national stage.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
Alatash is on the line. Hey, Alatash, what are you thinking?
I think the sound is the walls of Jericho.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we've got these walls of Jericho. And you think it's the falling down of them?
Yes.
Ah, Alatash, that is a spectacular guess. It's not the one for this sound,
But a very good guess.
but a very good guess. And what a great story of the Bible.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much for having a go.
No worries. Thank you.
There's one more guess down.
One more story that it's not.
There you go. That helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. But as always, the guesses are good, Phil.
They're brilliant. One day, it'll be this.
And they could all be right,
It's
too.
not today, but one day it will be. And we'll
Maybe
be
tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. There
Who
you
knows?
go. But coming up next, what we will have is some more discussion about these jandals.
Yes.
This is what Scott McLaughlin said when he came, we believe, second in a race.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first, gave some jandal. Yeah.
He's a very excited young man, wasn't
Well,
he?
he obviously thought he'd done very well. But they're giving it a jandal. We're talking all things jandal related today.
We're caffeinated and ready to face the day. This is Rise and Shine on Vision.
Where else would you be in the morning, Andy?
Nowhere right now,
Like
Phil.
literally, thankfully, yeah. Otherwise, it'd be a very different show. So thank you for coming.
Although this time last year, I was probably in the surf.
Oh, I was going to say you're probably asleep.
No, I used to surf and then drive to Vision on time for 9 o'clock start for helping Neil with 2020. And I love being on Rise and Shine, though.
Thank you.
But I do miss the early morning surfs. I do. I got to be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
at the beach in the morning, there's something about it.
There is.
And as you were going down that highway, I'm guessing you were flying down the highway.
Giving it the jandal, Phil.
A bit like Scott McLaughlin here, race car driver.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first, gave some jandal. Yeah.
Gave us some jandal.
Which is the turn of phrase that we've been chatting about now, because you brought it to light. I wasn't aware that it was even a thing, but here we go.
I thought it was just a common phrase in New Zealand. I thought everybody
New
said
Zealand?
it. Because a Kiwi friend of mine told me about it. I thought, okay, that's the way Kiwis talk.
Well, maybe it is. I left when I was only 8, so perhaps that's the problem, as I've been a bit diluted.
Well, you weren't driving back then, were you? Phil? At 8?
No, I wasn't driving at 8. But we have put it out there on Facebook. What about this jandal? What's some of the other things that could be done with the jandal? I've got here, and Belle has said this, which I think is very good. Every Kiwi mama I know has the most amazing aim when it comes to making contact with their children. No matter how far away they are in any room, just to whip out the jandal and bam, they can whack it from a distance, or they throw it. I guess we would say peg it if they misbehave.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this jandal throwing at you as you're being naughty.
Well, I mean, following on from that theme, someone else said, I lived in New Zealand for 2 years when I was little. I thought jandals were sandals. I love the saying, give it a jandal. So there's a fan.
Really?
That's Michelle from Michelle Hart. She's saying she loves the saying, give it some jandal.
Give it some
So maybe
jandal.
some of our Aussie listeners are now going to incorporate those into their language.
Well, you
Phil.
could. I mean, you took it a step further and said you can't handle the jandal, which I'd never heard of before either, but that's pretty cool.
Apparently that's a thing as well. That's a way of saying, hey, you just can't hack it.
There
You can't take
You
it.
can't hack. And about, I want to say, maybe an hour, not even quite an hour from now, we're going to try and live stream over to our Cuzzy Bros in New Zealand, to Rhema FM, during their brekkie show to see what they think and get some a Kiwi perspective
good
on
idea.
this issue.
That's a good idea.
So I'm working in the background to see how we go with getting that uplink happening. But in the meantime, I've got Colin here on the line. Colin, have you heard of this giving it a jandal business?
I'm an Aussie.
Okay. So what would be the Aussie equivalent of that, Colin?
I wouldn't be able to think of a clean one, actually. From the days when I wasn't a Christian, there was plenty of them.
Well, just give us, don't say the actual word, but give us an example.
Give it the boot?
Give it the boot, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Give it the boot. Yeah, give it the boot.
Now, because if you think about the jandal as being a disciplinary device, a boot is much hardcore than a jandal.
We don't want that.
You don't want to give the boot then.
No. But mate,
Yeah, well, you didn't know how I got disciplined when I was a kid. It was worse than a boot. So I probably would have rather the boot.
so going back to cars, though, have you ever heard of this saying, put the slipper in, put the foot down, put the slipper in?
Put the foot down, that's about all.
Put the
I
foot
haven't
down.
heard the slipper.
Haven't heard the slipper.
No, good. I'm glad that I'm not the only one, Colin. You're helping me here.
Put the thong in, put the thong in.
Put the thong in doesn't have the same.
Doesn't carry the same
doesn't
weight.
It doesn't have a ring to it, does it?
No.
It sounds like you can't even go fast because the thong won't even get the accelerator down.
Look, I think of these because they're quite soft, like
Exactly.
a plugger or a thong or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they're not. Oh, very good. Well, Colin, thanks so much for giving us a buzz.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, thanks. That's Colin's take on it and hasn't used giving it a jandal. We're after yours, though, 1-800-316 316. Tell us about this giving it a jandal. Maybe you're a Kiwi. Maybe you're an Aussie. Either way, give us a buzz. Love to hear from you. Or jump onto Rise and Shine on socials. It's Rise and Shine on Vision or Rise and Shine in the Facebook group.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine.
In the background here, we've got some berries here in the studio.
Well, we did have some berries, Phil. They've vanished.
I don't know where they went, into some stomachs here.
They were raspberries and they were very
delicious. And I'm thankful for you bringing them in because I feel you can actually feel the goodness going in as you eat them.
The what are those things called that are good for you, Phil?
Endorphins?
Antioxidants. The antioxidants. Yes, well, thanks. Look, if you ever go to Brisbane, there's a place called West End near South Bank there. I go to the West End markets on a Saturday morning on my little electric scooter with my backpack and I load up on the fresh fruit and vegetables because it's cheaper and it's better quality than you get in a lot of the supermarkets.
There you go. Local markets.
Local knowledge.
But it has inspired my choice of where to do the weather from because I subconsciously was thinking berry-ish, berry-liciouses.
Yes.
So I've chosen the Barossa in South Australia.
Oh, very nice.
Where they are known for making wine, but there must be a lot of berries and things in order to make that grapes.
A lot of
I'm
grapes.
guessing.
Yeah, a lot of grapes.
So if you're listening in Freeling or Kapunda or Lindok or Naratupa or Tananda, all of those are on 87.6 FM.
Well done, Phil.
And 87.8 actually, so you might have to flick it a tiny bit. But your weather right now, about 1.8 degrees. Feels like minus 0.4 degrees.
Wow.
It's like double puffer jackets there.
So it feels like just below zero.
It does feel like you could freeze. But it's going to get to 12. So during the day, look, it's looking up.
Well, 12's not that warm, Phil, for a
that
max.
warm. No, look,
That's
I'm
midday
a glass
temperature.
Half, when you compare to where you started, it's a long way away.
Well, I suppose that's good. Glass is half full.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. So Jeremiah chapter 31, and I am now in verse 12. One of my favourite verses in the Old Testament. It's just spoken to me so many times over so many years. It says this, therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, streaming to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat and new wine, Phil, and oil, for the young of the flock and the herd. Their souls shall be like a well-watered garden, and they shall sorrow no more at all. So it's talking about new wine there. There's a lot of references in the Old Testament to new wine, and if people are wondering what that means, analyse it. It means they're able to plant their grapes. They don't get invaded or attacked. The grapes are able to grow. The vines are able to grow. They're able to harvest those grapes, and they make wine out of it. Now, some people say the wine was watered down. It wasn't very alcoholic. The point is this. It means they were blessed. It means they weren't invaded. They weren't ransacked, and their vines were able to grow. And it's a sign of the blessing of God. So we can put that into a spiritual context and say, well, in the New Testament, the new wine is the joy of the Lord. Yes. It's the oil of heaven. It's a spiritual wine that we drink every time we come into God's presence.
Oh, and of course, in the Old Testament, they're using terminology that the people would have been aware with. And so for them, as they're reading it, they're like, oh, yeah, we understand what that means.
Yeah.
So hence that idea. Wonderful, Andy.
It's chapter 31 of Jeremiah. It's a book of prophecy where Jeremiah is prophesying about the future, about the restoration of Israel. But I believe most of it is relevant to the Christian era. So if you read Jeremiah chapter 31, there's some great promises in there.
And some of those prophet books, like Jeremiah, sometimes you're a bit scared of. You can be like, oh, should I read that? Yes. Jump on in, have a read.
Go there.
So if you need to, read it with a friend or a commentary next to you just to help, give some context. But it's wonderful to read and ask God for help as you're reading through it.
100%.
Next up, we're going to do that for you with the book of Esther.
Oh, yeah, we're there.
We are there.
We're there.
Coming up next. And then in the background, we are still making contact with our New Zealand counterparts at Rhema, New Zealand, because we're talking about the Jandal.
Giving it the Jandal.
Well, giving it the Jandal. We want to know if that's even a thing. So we're going to try and get them on the line not long from now. So stay tuned.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
Good news is Jesus does love you.
Amen.
Amen to that. Thank you, Zach. But we also love the Word of God, which is where we find out about that love. We find out about how God has set things in motion in the Old Testament so that he could send Jesus to come and die and rise again for us. And as you're reading through the Old Testament, so the first half of the Bible.
Well, the first 39
it's a bit more,
books.
Actually.
Yes,
it's
the
a bit
39
more than
out of 66. It's about 2/3, I would say.
It's quite a lot, isn't it? But that's all before Jesus was born. And really what we see in every single book is this redeeming idea, this idea of, hey, God protecting his people, protecting the bloodline of Jesus so that eventually he could come and be the Redeemer for us. And this is very evident in the book of Esther in the Bible, which is where we're having a little Bible study at the moment.
We are, Phil. And so we did chapter 1 yesterday, lots of context, lots of background, historical context as well. But today is the story when the king has offloaded the first wife, Vashti, or maybe it was the first, and we're not sure the first. But anyway, so he's looking for a new wife. They call for the whole of the Persian Empire, hey, if you're beautiful, you're young, you've never been married before, come on down to Sushan, the capital, and you may be the next queen. It's like a beauty pageant on steroids, isn't it, Phil? Also involved a job interview. But you know the part of this story I like, and I'm sure you'll have your take on it, Phil, is it says here in verse 10 that when Esther came down, she actually was beautiful, so she was selected. She was like, yep, you're going to get an interview. But the Bible says that Esther had not revealed her people or family, for Mordecai, her uncle, had charged her not to reveal it. And I really like that because later on in the book, she does reveal her people, she shares her faith. And I think sometimes, especially when you start a new job or you move into a new neighborhood, sometimes it's wise, Phil, to not tell everyone straight away, hey, I'm a Christian, everyone, I go to church every Sunday and I give some of my money to God. You know, like sometimes being cool at first, win people over, build a relationship can actually be more effective for evangelism than just being out there straight away, especially when you start a job in an organization which is full of non-Christians. I've just learnt this. Be wise, be cool at first, just win people over through relationship. And later on, God may open up a door for you to share your faith with people.
That's really interesting, Andy. And look, you can see here with Esther a great amount of wisdom and godly wisdom in this situation. So we know she's an orphan. She's being brought up by her uncle. They've come from a different place. They've been bought out by King Nebuchadnezzar, that family, and as a result of her parents are no longer there. But we do see in her this great favor. And you do see that here, that when she comes into the king's harem, there's going to be a period of time before she's brought to the king. We know it's at least a year. But that Haggai, who's in charge of looking after these young women, treated her kindly and was very impressed. And we see that in the lives of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they were in another difficult situation, that by the way they carried themselves, the way they made decisions, the way they spoke and acted, actually there was favor upon that. People treated them kindly and gave them extra benefits. It's a benefit of being in the kingdom of God.
Yeah, and she was obviously, it's a
Very
cliche,
wise.
she was beautiful on the outside but also the inside.
Agree.
She was a beautiful human being. And, but back to how she didn't reveal her people. Think about, like, if she turned up and said, hey, King, just let you know, I'm a Jew. I believe in Moses and Abraham. All the boys in my culture are circumcised. And if she told her whole thing about her faith, the king might have thought, oh, gee, this girl's a bit weird. Because he was not Jewish. No. But what she did is she won him over to herself through her inner beauty and her character. And later on, when she said, by the way, I'm a Jew, he's like, well, I want to defend the Jews. I'm on the Jews' side because you're a Jew and I love Jews because I love you. And look, I've done it both ways, Phil. I've started jobs when I was a new Christian. I was young and dumb. And the first day I'd turn up, I'm like, hey, everyone, I'm a Christian. And they say, how was your weekend? It was awesome. I was in church. And I just found I didn't win anyone to myself. Everyone was like, okay, that's the weird Christian now, and we don't talk to him very much. And it actually built walls instead of doors for me to share the gospel. Oh,
well, that's so good to think about. And if you're looking at the book of Esther here in chapter 2, you can see that then she goes through this process. She's very wise. She hasn't revealed what her heritage is, but she does end up with this time when she goes before the king. All of the young women do. She gets, and as a young girl, this always was attractive to me. She got 12 months of beauty treatments.
Not bad.
Which I always thought, that's not bad. That sounds like a pretty good year.
12 months of makeup, hair, nails, massages.
I always imagine the massages and it says oils, and so she was having these beautiful baths. She was able to get whatever clothing or jewellery she wanted to take into this time with the king. And she's brought in and comes back out. But it's beautiful because, again, she shows wisdom here. She's being told she's about to go in. And Haggai, obviously she could go in laden with jewels, or she could go in with crowns on her head, whatever she wanted.
Or a banjo. Juggling. She could have done anything.
But she went to the keeper of the harem, Haggai, and said, what do you suggest? And I imagine he said, I just suggest that you be yourself. You're beautiful. And she went in and was admired by everyone who saw her. And then after that, the king, it says here in verse 17, loved Esther more than any of the other young women. He was so delighted with her that he set the royal crown on her head and declared her queen instead of Vashti. And this is the exciting part, is that he had the choice of so many. You can imagine there would have been a lot of young women, and yet he chose her. There was favor upon her. And that was obviously God setting it up, but also she had to follow through with that wisdom.
Well, like you said, she listened. And this is such a key and a skill that some people in our modern world don't have. Listen to the right people. So she listened to the head eunuch because he knew what the king liked.
Like that.
And if she'd just been strong-headed and self-willed, I don't need to listen to this old guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, I'll go in and do this.
Yes.
She may not have been so favourable to the king, but the guy who gave her the advice, he knew what the king liked. And so, you know, for all the young players out there today, listen to older, wiser people because they've got lots of wisdom that they can actually help you with for your future life.
Oh, so good, Andy. Look, we're at the end of Esther chapter 2. I will just mention, because it's important for down the track, Mordecai, her uncle, the end of that chapter, it just sneaks it in, but he actually uncovers a plot that saves the king's life. He gives the information to the newly minted Queen Esther, and she gives it to the king. And
Newly minted, hey? Is that what you do? You mint a queen, do you? I thought you minted a coin.
No, you mint the queen.
You mint the queen.
It's recorded in the book of the history of the King Xerxes' reign. That's important, but not till down the track. So just keep that in your mind. Hey, that was something that Mordecai did, and you'll see down the track why that's important. But that's Esther too.
It's a big chapter, Phil.
I think we covered it.
We could have done a week
quickly
on that chapter. There's so much in that chapter, isn't there? And not to mention the fact that she loved this unbelieving king who was not one of God's people.
No.
She loved the guy, Phil.
That's
the miracle of the story. And I think this is an example of unconditional love. It's almost Christian love in the Old Testament.
Beautiful. Andy, so well done. Loving this book of Esther. Hopefully it's inspired you to dig in and have a read for yourself.
Always encouraging and always fun. Rise and shine on Vision.
There's a bit of news about Forrest Frank.
There is, Phil. Unfortunately, he had a skateboarding accident because he is pretty young and cool, and he was riding his skateboard, poor fella. And I saw it on the video. It's nasty. I don't even like thinking about things like that. But anyway, he was down and out, Phil. So what do you do when you're a Christian artist down and out? Do you sit around or lie around feeling sorry for yourself, or do you do something positive, Phil? What do you do, Phil?
Well, we can let Forrest Frank tell you all about it, but just imagine he's lying on his bed. He has to stay still. He's got a computer, a guitar, and a mic.
And a voice.
And such a voice. Have a listen to Forrest Frank.
5 days ago, I broke my back on a skateboard. If you want to watch the whole video, it's a couple posts back, no pun intended. And I decided to make a song, and this is what came out. This drops Friday. God's got my back. Even when I fall or get attacked, God's got my back. Even when I'm low and full of lack, God's got my back. Even when my soul is full of sorrow, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Why is that? 'Cause God's got my back right there, never left. I can feel your presence.
Isn't that fantastic?
So cool.
So cool.
God's got my back because he hurt his back, obviously.
He did. He's in traction, so he's lying. I don't know if traction is a word for it, but he's lying there on his back. He can't move very much.
It's a great bounce back, isn't it?
So I was pretty impressed by that. But then yesterday, day 11, is he finished?
No.
Is he done?
No.
Is that enough?
No.
He's already written a song? No, it's not enough for him. So let's see what he's done on day 11 of a broken back, lying on his back in bed. Here's Forrest Frank yesterday.
Day 11 of having a broken back. But you know what they say, when life gives you lemons. Life gave me some lemons, but my Jesus, he be making lemonade. Lemonade. My Jesus making lemonade. Lemonade. I watch my worries wash away. Lemonade. It's gonna be okay. I gave me some lemons, but my Jesus, he be making lemonade. With that living water, Spirit, Son, Holy Father, never thought he really got us. I guess he just forgot that God was.
So that is Forrest Frank. Day 11, he's written a second song.
But that is a genuinely cool song, let's be honest. It sounds cool. I want to listen to it.
I want the whole song. So that's as much as been released so far, but we'll keep an eye on it because you need that song in your life, don't you think?
Yeah, it's the ultimate bounce back, Phil.
It is the ultimate bounce
It's the ultimate God working all things together for good to those who love him. He's actually written 2 crackers there.
2 crackers. So next time you stub your toe and you're like, you'll be like, life is given lemonade, and you can sing the song.
Yeah, there you go.
Well done, Forrest Frank.
Go, Forry Frank, go.
Very impressed. We'll keep tracking with him on his road to recovery, and we'll keep it up here for you.
He's given it the jandal, really, isn't it, Phil?
Do you think?
He's given it the jandal from the hospital bed.
That is the question, really, all through the day today.
Does he know what a jandal is?
You know,
Probably
is that
not.
even a thing? Is giving it a jandal a thing? And tell you what I've got. I've got a link up with our Cuzzy Bros in New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
The Rhema FM crew, the Brekkie crew.
Yeah.
Andrew and Kat.
Okay.
We're going to be joining them live next up.
Awesome.
Love the Rise and Shine podcast? Tell a friend today.
We're going to attempt to do something, Andy, that we haven't done before.
What's that, Phil?
We are going to do a live cross with another breakfast team in New Zealand from Rhema FM, another Christian part of our network, which
Yeah,
we love.
Rhema FM radio in New Zealand. I believe it's a nationwide Christian radio station, actually. And these guys do the breakfast show because, if you're just joining us, I threw a term out the other day to Fel. She'd never heard it before, giving it the jandal,
Yes.
which I was told by a Kiwi. That means put your foot down in the car. So we started this whole conversation. What does it mean? Is it true? Can you give it the jandal? What else can the jandal be used for? So, I think it's a great idea that we speak to some of our colleagues in New Zealand about this phrase, Phil.
Well, their breakfast team happens to have an Andrew as well.
There you go.
So we'll see if we can get them here. We've got Andrew and Kat joining us now live on their show as well, on their brekkie show in New Zealand. Andrew, we were wondering if you're up for helping us.
Well, we understood we needed to do some kind of international bridge building here and maybe some phrases that have lost their meaning over time. So, Andy, was in particular that you were trying to figure out?
Well, yeah, it's a fact check because, I just as a throwaway line said to Fel the other day, we'll give it the jandal when you're driving. And she's like, what's that? I said, in New Zealand, when they put their foot down, that is, called giving it the jandal. Now, Fel was born in New Zealand. She'd never heard of giving it the jandal. She didn't believe me. She never believes me anyway, but she definitely didn't believe me about this one. So we had to do some fact checking, and that is it true that when a Kiwi puts their foot down in the car, it's called giving it the jandal?
I'm not too sure. I mean, putting the foot down, yes, definitely. Give it some gas, pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Sure if it's giving it the jandal, though.
To be honest, there is another context where you might give somebody the jandal, but I don't know if it's as politically correct.
It's probably not so great. It's like when you're a kid and you're in trouble and then your mum picks up her jandal and throws it at you.
Yeah, well, that's
it's more of a military device than it is something to do with driving the car.
Excellent. Well, do you guys call that piece of footwear that we know as the jandal the jandal?
No, we
or
do
is
not.
this a new word for you?
Well, it's fairly new. I don't think we've used it in our vocabulary on a regular basis, have we? We would call it, and I know it's one of those words. We call it thongs.
Or pluggers. Or pluggers.
This is another one that I've just learnt. Pluggers.
Wait.
Hang on, that's a new one.
Pluggers I've never heard. Tell me about pluggers. What on earth is a plugger?
Yeah.
Well, it's a pair of thongs, which you guys call a pair of jandals. Now, don't let your mind go there, thongs. But, pluggers is when you plug the little thing in, the little thing on top of the jandal that, plugs in. So that's where the saying pluggers comes from. So people call them their pluggers. So wearing your pluggers is wearing your jandals, yeah. But
is this like a regional thing in Australia? Or
no, it's an Aussie thing.
Universal across.
But we definitely don't say giving it the pluggers when you put your foot down in the car. That is not a thing. That is not a thing.
Not used
What
regularly.
do you say?
It's not
What
a
do
thing
you
and it's
say
not
when
a
you're
thong.
trying to accelerate.
What do you say, Andy, when you're going down? What would you say? You wouldn't say give it the jandal.
I call it a normal day, Phil. I say, well, I'm going to work today.
Because Andy's the worst driver ever. That's why this has come up. He's a dangerous driver. But you'd say just put your foot down, wouldn't you, Andy?
Well, let's give some context here to our Kiwi brothers and sisters. So one day, Fel claims that she saw me flying through the traffic at high speeds, getting the job done, arriving on time, and she claims that it looked dangerous. But you know what? I had a smile on my face. I was having a whole lot of fun, and I arrived safely. So we've got two different versions of events there.
Yep.
Well, wait a minute. Where was she then? If you got somewhere on time and she was able to spot you driving through.
Yes, Fel, where were you?
She behind you.
Fel, come on, buddy.
Yeah, look, we'll go through the whole thing then. I was in the lane at a complete standstill. My husband was driving. We're going to a concert. We Are Messengers, the concert. And my husband goes, there's some lunatic coming up beside us in the fast lane. And how about I let him in? I'll be Christian. I'm like, oh, honey, you're so good. I wouldn't do that, right? So he lets him in. And I see this hand come out with this huge thumb out of the car. And I'm like, just a second. I know that thumb. I look over and there's a couple of the Vision crew, including Andy on the drive. And he's there. So my husband lets him in and we're like, oh, that's very nice of us. What good people we are. Then I see Andy go down 4 lanes, cut across 4 lanes of traffic to get onto this other highway to then take off to it. Very dangerous. Well, we still got to the concert on time.
You know what the most important question is? Were you driving a work-branded vehicle?
No, yes, that's right.
No, I have self-imposed exile. I don't put Vision stickers on my cars for good reason. and my whole Christian walk, I've never put a Christian fish in my car either. It's just not a good witness, you know. So
I think he knows more about his driving than he lets on. I have seen a bumper sticker once that said, something like, "Do you get this close to Jesus?" as the bumper sticker. And I was like, oh, back off a little bit.
Very good bumper sticker.
But let's get back to the jandal. We did have a couple of Kiwi callers yesterday telling us, yeah, it's true. Giving it the jandal is putting your foot down. There's even a famous Kiwi, well, he was famous 10 years ago, racing car driver, who in a post-race interview said that he gave it some jandal when I think he came first or second in a Volvo. So it was determined yesterday or proven that it is a saying. But then it evolved, like you said, a mum rang up, a Kiwi mum saying, oh, yeah, when we got the jandal as kids, it meant getting whacked with the jandal.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, wow. And I had an idea. Look, maybe you can share this with your listeners, and maybe some of your listeners work for New Zealand Police. I think like an electric jandal could be in order here. Like, because in Australia, our cops have a taser where they tase you like an electric shock. Yeah. I'm thinking an electric jandal for New Zealand for your cops, so that when they're walking around the streets, they've just got this jandal. If they pull it out and hit someone with it, it actually electrocutes them as well as hits them. What do you think?
Well, that could be good, or you could train up some sheep to be sheepdogs. So instead of like a sheepdog, you've got like a ferocious sheep.
I can attack sheep.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that.
Look, you might be onto something. It would give a lot of people a throwback to when they were growing up because
exactly.
From my point of view, absolutely think more of the jandal as a disciplinary device than more of a logistical one. So you might be onto something with that. Was there anything else they came up with?
Well, I'm thinking property transaction because in Ruth, they handed over the sandal as part of Boaz, in that maybe in New Zealand you could just start, handing over. Once you show the jandal, it's like this sign of authority.
That's it.
I love that. Like Winston Peters, who's our foreign minister, goes to negotiate a diplomatic contract with, let's say, the head of the UK and just goes, okay, do we agree? Here's my jandal.
Whips the jandal.
Off goes the left-hand jandal. Bingo, bango.
Actually, there could be some cost savings in this too, because, again, if you're going to use the stories of Ruth here, we all know that a wedding's an expensive occasion, and the ring is prohibitive for a lot of people. Yeah. What about the wedding jandal, guys?
Come on, bring it.
You look deeply into your love's eyes and say, darling, marry me, and you give her the jandal, and she just knows right there and then.
Here, darling, has the white thong.
And if she's a real Ruth, she'll take the jandal. She won't need a ring. She's not materialistic.
Exactly.
She's not about the money. She's about the love. She's all about the love. So she'll take the jandal.
Nailed it.
Now, okay, here's another saying we looked up as well. You can't handle the jandal. Have you guys heard that one? You can't handle the jandal. Talk us through that. What does that mean?
You're not up to the task.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's too much for you. It's something really intense. If someone says you can't handle a jandal, they're basically just saying that, look, you don't have the right stuff, buddy.
Can you translate that into Australian for us?
You can't hack it.
You can't hack it.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't hack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys, every time the Wallabies play the All Blacks, you just say, the Wallabies, they can't handle a jandal. Has that been the saying for the last 20 years?
It is true. Whether or not we've said it or not, we still agree with you.
You agree?
So you better your words than mine on your own show, mate.
Look, mate, as a former Wallabies supporter, I've given up on them. I watch the English Premier League now. I don't even watch the Wallabies anymore. No, I don't. I mean, there's a whole range of issues there. But, you guys have definitely taken rugby to another level. So, yeah, we definitely can't handle a jandal when it comes to rugby, that's for sure.
Well, you can sure handle a jandal on a radio show, guys. So thanks for having us a part of yours, and glad we could provide a bit of, trans-Tasman translation for you.
It was awesome.
Let's do it again. We loved having a chat. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for joining us.
Give it the jandal, guys. Have a good day.
Oh, there you go. 2 breakfast TV shows unite.
There you go.
Rhema FM and Vision. And that's Andrew and Kat, the Brekkie team there.
They're good people, aren't they?
Aren't they? I want to do that all the time.
I think we'll do it every couple of weeks, Phil.
I reckon
we'll
let's
just check in with them and see what's going on in New Zealand.
Maybe if we could have like a bat line that we just can see into their studio and just every now and again, that looks funny. What are you talking about? There you go. But that was the New Zealand version there of bringing the jandal. It sounds like there's mixed messaging coming, Andy. Not everyone is giving it the jandal.
There is, Phil. I want to get a bit serious here. In the 20th century, Phil, per capita, the nation that sent the most missionaries overseas, have a guess what it was?
New Zealand.
Yep. They sent the most missionaries per capita of population. That's pretty cool. So good nation, good people, lots of Christians there. Well, when I say lots, probably they'd say there's not enough. But I think compared to Australia in the last century anyway, there was probably more Christians per head of population.
And big, my mum and dad were alive in New Zealand during the period where there were some big revivals happening. Imagine whole streets filled with young people who were just excited about God, energized about God. So there's a great Christian heritage there as well.
Yeah.
So we pray for New Zealand, and very thankful to have that connection there with Rain.
We'll give the devil the jandal, slap him over
Now,
the head.
there you go. That I can get on board
And then
with.
we'll give the jandal and get to church quick. That's what we'll do.
Just the right mix of things to inspire and things to make you smile. Rise and shine on Vision.
And so excited, Phil. We have Mark and Cindy Kuyava in the studio. They are local church pastors here in Brisbane who also visit Vision once a week to bless the staff and chaplain us all. Mark and Cindy, welcome to Rise and Shine.
Thanks so much. Great to be here again.
Lovely to be in the house again. Love it, love it, love it. On the studio, I should say.
That's it.
But it's a house.
It's a house.
Now, this year, Phil Edwards, our CEO, has sort of dubbed that we have a disciple-making focus. And you've come in with a discipleship type theme devotion. Are you sucking up to the boss there?
No.
Who doesn't?
Cindy's a yes, Mark's a no.
No, it wasn't that at all. Actually, wherever we're going at the moment, whether it's at school, our church, the theme, there's a running theme at the moment of disciple making, and not just being disciples, being discipled, but also helping make disciples, which we know that the Lord has asked us to do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, take it away.
Have you got a verse about discipleship?
Absolutely.
Today?
So for us, our foundation scripture is the John 10:27 scripture says this, that my sheep hear my voice, I know them, and they follow me. So what we might do is we might unpack that one over the next 3 weeks, okay?
Great.
So we'll do this week, I think we'll do about hearing. Next week after that, we'll talk about how he knows us, how that relationship is, and then the last one is how to follow him. So that'll be good.
Great.
So hear him. So let's break this up. It comes from the Greek, and I've got 3 things about it in the Greek. The first one is it talks about coming to the ear. So in other words, you're hearing something audibly, and it comes to you. It comes into your ear. You know, like in other words, what voices are we listening to? Okay. So are we listening to the good voices, or we listen to what comes from the Lord? And that could be through His Word or through the audible side of things. You know, and I don't know about you, but it's hard to hear God's voice, even reading His Word or whatever. Just the distractions and everything that goes on, and what is the right word or the not right word? Like, hey, I had pizza last night. You know, well, what am I hearing today? You know, that kind of hearing. So the part of it is understanding God's voice and knowing His voice, and then it bounces into the thing about comprehension and understanding. So not only hearing Him audibly, but knowing and believing what He says about you, and choosing to believe that apart from other things that you hear. Like, for instance, the enemy will say about doubt or about fear, and you tend to take that on and believe that. But hold on a sec, God's word says this. Yeah. So I'm not only hearing the word when it says that, Mark, you are more than a conqueror, but I comprehend that and understand that, and it becomes a foundation for my life. That's hard. That takes forever to do that. You know what I mean? So not only audibly hearing it, but comprehending and understanding that. And that's sometimes I fall into a bit of a trap naturally with that, because I'm hearing people and go, hey, totally just missed that. Just missed what you were saying, you know. Yeah. But the third one is the one that I get excited about, and this is the real hard one, is give an audience to. So this understanding of like fixing my full attention on Him. I do this really, really bad when watching TV, because I get so locked into the TV, I can't hear anything that's going on around me. Yep. And even though that's bad, it's actually the example that he's saying here. Can you fully fix your full attention totally on me? Yeah. It's like recently we saw a show, you know, and it had stage and dances and all that kind of stuff. And you know, you just get locked into that. And then I like, if I'm watching a movie, I get so locked into the movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how do we fully give attention to that? Not just the voices that come at you with doubt and fear, but the brain that goes, oh, oh, I've got to put out the chicken tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to do this. That kind of attention kind of stuff.
Yeah. What am I going to wear tomorrow?
Yeah,
what outfit am I going to choose?
You know, I'm in the middle of.
I'm sure you and I think about that all the time. Don't we? That's our biggest distraction.
It is. So what it's learning the art of pushing out all the voices, so I can give my full divided attention to Him, hearing and understanding Him.
Mate.
Very good.
What a great message, Mark. Looking forward to the next couple of weeks where you unpack that even more. But those are definitely words to live by, and that is how we become disciples.
Yeah.
Amazing. Pastors Mark and Cindy Kuyava yet again coming to the studio. Blessed everyone today with that incredible message. Thanks so much for joining us again on Rise and Shine.
Have a great day.
See you guys.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekkie show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast.
We're feeling a little bit, I was going to say fruity, because we've been eating fruit here in the studio.
A bit fruity,
and
Phil.
a bit crazy. Andy has brought in very kindly. I'm munching on some blueberries, which I didn't think were in season. And
well, I got them at the West End markets. If you just joined the show,
very
there's a
exciting.
place in where I live in Brisbane near South Bank, near the city. They're called West End, and they do these markets on Saturday morning, and they are amazing. And there's a Vietnamese family, I think, and they've just got this fresh fruit and veg on tables.
Oh.
It's cheaper than supermarkets, Fel, and it's fresher and nicer than supermarket fruit and veg.
I've powered through the raspberries
You
onto
have.
the blueberries.
You have.
By the end of the show, I'll be full of antioxidants. So it's got us thinking about parts of Australia where you grow these beautiful delicacies, including Stanthorpe in Queensland, where today the weather is 10 degrees. When we compare it to some of the other places, we were just looking at the Barossa, and they're feeling like it's minus temperatures. Stanthorpe, you should feel like it's luxury there for you as you listen along on 87.6 FM, heading to 16 degrees during the day.
It's a nice part of the world, Stanthorpe. I've been through there many times, Fel, and they grow a lot of apples there. Yes. And there's this business there that make this apple juice. I can't remember the name of it, so there's no shameless plugs there, but they've got this cloudy apple juice there. It's so nice.
It really good?
And the apple pie they make there. Like, my kids used to love stopping there for lunch. Like, they would literally say, Dad, can we go to the apple place?
Yeah.
You know, whenever we're driving down to New South Wales, we'd stop at Stanthorpe, and they just love the apple place.
They don't have a giant apple?
They don't have a big apple there, no. And I don't remember the name of it, but it's just outside of town there. And like I said, there's all things apples there, and great pies, homemade gourmet pies and sausage rolls, burgers. But the apple pie and the apple juice, next level.
Do you reckon there's somewhere in New Zealand with a giant jandal?
There should be.
There should be.
I don't know if the Kiwis think like that, though. Australia is the land of the big pineapple, the big banana, the giant prawn. It's just funny how we're obsessed with these big things.
You don't get that in New Zealand. That's true. When I've travelled along, I've not seen a big anything.
A big anything.
Like no big egos. Like it's
they're
not like
low-key
we're known,
Kiwi.
it's a very low key.
They're low-key Kiwis, aren't they?
They are low-key.
Understated. That's what I love about Kiwis.
I do.
They're a bit understated.
I love it. But, okay, give us a scripture from the Bible. What's a big scripture for us, Andy?
Well, I am going to stay in Jeremiah chapter 31 because we touched on it the last top of the hour, Phil. So I'm going to go to the beginning of the chapter, chapter 31 of Jeremiah, verse 2. Thus says the Lord, the people who survived the sword found grace in the wilderness. Israel, when I went to give him rest. And this is great news for us all, Phil, that, you know, you may be in a time of wilderness, you may be in a time where you feel like things aren't doing great, maybe you've been through a tough season, but God is a God of grace in the wilderness, that he never leaves us, Phil, he never forsakes us. Even in the toughest seasons, he's with us, and we live under grace in the New Testament. So this is like almost a New Testament prophecy that no matter what you're going through in life, like Jesus said in the end of Matthew, you know, even unto the end of the ages, lo, I'm with you always. So we can always find God's grace. And you may be going through a tough season right now. Just want to encourage you that you are under the grace of God and you can find grace in your wilderness.
And ask God for that help to walk with you through to the other side. Beautiful, Andy.
Subscribe and listen to the Rise and Shine podcast in the free Vision app. It's easy and available everywhere.
I was curious to know, 30 years of writing Christian songs, has anything changed in that 30 years? Is there something new God's doing through praise and worship, or is it all much the same?
Man, I don't know if there's, it's so, gosh, I've seen so much come and go, and from over the years. And, I hope that for me, it's all about just still the same thing, is just helping people connect with the Lord, helping connect with God with the song. And that is, once we get away from that, and once it turns into something more than that, then I think we lose the plot. But for me, over these 30 years, I keep coming back to that simple thing of I want people with my songs to hopefully they encounter the presence of God, because that is the game. That is the difference. And the thing about worship, 30 years span or eternity span, the thing about worship is it ought to be different than any other music of the world. And what I mean by that is that your soul is singing to a living God. Yeah. And that's different than any other. That's different than singing along on the radio. Yeah. That's different than just, oh, this is a nice melody. But your heart's connecting to the eternal God, and that it's a soul that comes from deep in the soul, and hopefully our songs help people do that. And I know that not everybody likes all the different styles everybody has different styles they love, but hopefully there's songs that help people connect to God and remind people of that eternal song.
And I think, Chris, when you're talking about that, the most precious times for me in worship, and I'm thinking of how great is our God, when you've got your hands raised and how great is our God, that's actually, you see yourself in the very throne room of God, and you're actually worshiping no longer here on earth, but you're actually worshiping with the saints in heaven. That's a big part, isn't it? That's kind of lifting your eyes off what's temporal, and actually you're joining everyone, even 1,800 years in the past, you're joining them right now and worshiping God.
Yeah. I think about that. I think about this song, the first hymn, like you said, 1,800 years later, that we are generation after generation after generation, just continuing that song of praise. There is an eternal song that never ends. Yeah. In Revelation, I wrote this song 3 years ago called Holy Forever, and it's probably one of my most favorite songs ever getting to be part of. And the idea of that song was to join that everlasting song that says day and night, they never stop singing, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. And if the scripture's true, and I believe it's true, then that is the song of heaven. That is the lyric of heaven. And to join that chorus and that praise that's what you're always trying to do. That's what you're always trying to do with my songs.
Yeah. Last week we interviewed one of your former Delta Force commandos, or operators, they call them, the United States military, and he said going through that hard selection course, they go through those courses where they get tortured and, no food, no water, no sleep for days. And he said he started singing hymns as he was walking through the wilderness on his own, trying to get through this course. These hymns of praise just came out of his heart, and it actually helped him get through that course, became a Delta Force operator, served your country for almost 20 years. And it's just amazing, isn't it, the power of praise and worship when people learn to sing to God. Yeah, in the best days, in the hardest of days, the praise, to sing praise. We always have something to give praise for, right? Even when we wake up in the morning and we got breath in our lungs, and we always have something to give praise to and for to God. And there's always a song. I love the scripture always says, bring a new song. Always bring a new song to God. And so it's funny. This song, we're talking about an 1,800-year-old song, and to bring a new song. But it is, in some way, you're always bringing these songs to the Lord. And I love being a part of that. It's pretty cool. When you think about it, a day is as 1,000 years to the Lord. So those guys only wrote the song yesterday, and we're singing it today. That's so good. That's so good. And look, Dave, Chris, for our Australian audience, you're obviously American, but what part of the States are you from? Where do you hail from? Texas. Oh, you're a Texan? Yes, I'm a Texan. And then, and now I live in Tennessee, but I've been a Texan most all my life. Hey, well, we love Texas. I tell you what, you guys have got a saying, haven't you? Those of us some of us were born here and the rest of us got here as quick as we could, because it's it's the best part of America. And we love Texas, mate. Well, Chris, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Rise and Shine. We're really looking forward to your new album coming out, The King is Still the King, and also the first hymn documentary being released across Australian cinemas on July 31, and the first hymn song, which you co-wrote with Ben Fielding, is on that documentary as well. But Chris Tomlin, thank you so much for joining us today on Rise and Shine. Yeah, just a privilege. Thank you guys so much.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
And we've been chatting, Andy. Yesterday you mentioned this idea of giving it the jandal.
Giving it the jandal.
Which I'd never heard of.
And I asked you a loaded question, Phil. I said, do you give it the jandal? Because I knew that Phil doesn't give it the jandal Fel doesn't put the foot down. Fel doesn't put pedal to the metal.
No.
Fel doesn't do anything like that. That's why I asked her. But you
very
were
safe.
a bit sceptical about the saying, weren't you? You weren't sure if it was an actual saying
I was.
in New Zealand. So that's where this whole conversation started. But we've had confirmation from various sources, Fel, both in Australia and overseas, that giving it the jandal is a thing.
Although, when we did chat to our counterparts at Rhema New Zealand, they both said they don't use that term. I think, Phil, I read into that they've probably got Rhema New Zealand stickers on their cars. Oh, you
and
reckon they don't?
didn't want to admit that they give it the jandal. That's what I thought.
That's not how I read into it. But we've got Cheryl, one of our beautiful Rise and Shine family, on the ground in New Zealand. She just happens to be in Auckland today.
Cool.
So here she is on the line. Shez, tell us about this jandal business. How is New Zealand today?
It's sweet as, bro.
It is sweet.
We're pretty excited to have you in New Zealand while we're having this important discussion about jandals. What are the chances of that?
I know, right? It's like I've come over here just for this moment.
Okay, so question, have you got a hire car? Because obviously you're doing work over there. Have you got a hire car from the airport?
Yes, I have, and I've been giving it the jandal, Andy.
That's what I wanted to hear. And when you picked up the hire car from the little hire car place there at the airport, did they say, hey, watch out when you give it the jandal because there's speed cameras everywhere? Were you warned about giving it the jandal?
They actually made me sign giving it the jandal contract because they don't want me to smash the car while I'm giving it the jandal.
They don't want you to give it the jandal.
Yeah. And there are a lot of speed
They're
cameras.
This is a hire car. Please look after it. Don't give it the jandal was their exact words.
Okay, what about
don't give it the jindal.
The jindal. What about, though, when you're walking around the streets or the shopping centres and there's lots of people around? Have you seen any flying jandals from any, stern mums who are trying to bring their kids back in line?
100. I've seen two instances. I'm staying in Auckland CBD. I was walking along the road the other day and this woman just flung off her jandal at her kids. I was like,
she
what
did
is this?
not.
Oh, I love it.
Insane. 100%. No word of a lie. Maybe a little bit. But anyway.
And was she a good aim? Did it hit the kid or did it miss?
Oh, yeah. 100 it hit. They never miss. This is the thing. It's like a magic trick.
It's like a
boomerang.
It's like a ninja star. You know when the ninjas throw their Death Stars? It's like a ninja star, the jandal.
I would actually question that every country has some form of jandal throwing because I know Sushi Mango, who are the Italian guys, comedians, they talk about the nonna's slipper coming off and hitting you in the head. Yeah, exactly. So there's there'll be like some sort of cultural jandal all around the world that people are taking off to hit their kids in the head with. And we're all, you know what? We're all still okay. We've actually grown up better for it.
I don't know that I've ever thrown like a piece of footwear at my children.
Maybe you should.
Be shocked.
Well, maybe you should. This could be your first time.
Well, you just remind me of something.
That's why I've got such a hard head.
Yeah. I was in a crusade type meeting in Africa once. There's an African brother preaching, great preacher, and he said, everyone, I just feel like we need to be silent. And there was thousands of people there. And everyone went really silent except one individual. And they just kept shouting and yelling and carrying on.
Andy, did you then get quiet after that?
No, I was quiet, but this individual wasn't in the audience. And this is a true story. This is Africa, okay? He had like a flip-flop on, like an African-style flip-flop, which was made of harder rubber or something. It wasn't like a thong, an Aussie thong.
The evangelist.
He literally chucked the thong at the person to make them be quiet.
He did not.
He did.
He did not.
He did.
From the stage.
Yes. And he was a good shot. He must
did
have.
It work?
Yeah, it nailed this person and they stopped making all the noise.
See, I don't wear thongs, right? But I'm going to carry one around in my bag to make sure that I can just swing it out at someone as self-defense at any point. I mean, I have to say jandal in New Zealand, though. People look at me weird when I say thongs.
Well, you do have to be careful. You have to. And look, you are with a bunch of Kiwis right now. So have you done a quick poll with anyone? Have you checked? Is this normal?
Yeah, like this is 100% normal for the team here. And it's a mix of there's a mix of cultures in my office here, but most of them are Kiwis, and they've all told me that giving it the jandal is a term, but they could also be slipping me a new one, and I might not be getting told the truth. I'm not sure, but I can never tell when these guys are joking. No. They've got very sarcastic humour over here. So,
well, okay, Shez, here's your challenge. So, are you there to do training or are you selling? What are you actually doing there?
I'm actually, I've just finished training a huge retailer yesterday, and then I'm doing more training today.
Okay, so you're doing training. So here's your challenge. You have to put into your training presentation today the saying, so I want you to give it the jandal. I want you to find some context to use that phrase, give it the jandal, and also, no, it doesn't stop there.
You've already done it.
You've also, well, today.
I'm saying I know where
Yeah.
You go.
But let me finish. And also, you need to say this term as well. Can you handle a jandal? Okay, so you've got to use both phrases today in your presentation. Give it the jandal and can you handle a jandal? Okay? So you can report back to us.
I know exactly where I'm going to do this.
Yeah?
Because I've got a coffee machine that I'm training, so we can give it the jandal when we're using the coffee machine.
Yeah, hey, let's all give the jandal, get to the coffee machine. Yep.
That's it. And then as we drink the coffee, we won't be able to handle the jandal because it'll be hepped up on coffee beans.
You can no longer do this. You can no longer do this.
That's it. I'm built for this life, Andy. I'm built for this life. I love it.
Okay, we want you to report back to us, Shez. We want to hear all about it.
Oh, brilliant. Shez.
And I'm going to make sure... See, I will just say one last thing. I'm going to fang it to the airport instead of giving it the jandal because that's how Aussies do it. We fang it.
Yes, you're going to fang it.
You're right. Yeah, I'm going to fang it to the airport. And then just one last thing, that they call eskies chili bins over here. It's really weird.
Oh, a chili bin.
Yeah, that's the next word we've got to get into conversations. Have you got your chili bun?
Got your chili bun. Because it's chili and it's a bin, so it's a chili bin.
So practical.
Have you not heard of that one?
Never heard of a chili bin.
Oh, well. See, finally I knew something that you didn't with that one.
Yeah, they're a little bit weird over here. I mean, New Zealand will love that I say that, but they are a bunch of weirdos.
I think the feeling might be mutual.
I'm sure they say the same about us too, yeah.
Oh, Shez, love you. Thank you
God
so
bless.
much.
Stay
Have
safe,
a good day.
You too. Take care.
Give it the jandal.
You give it the jandal.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast. Rise and Shine.
Beat the toaster.
That's right. It's a pretty simple game. 60 seconds on the clock, long enough to cook some toast. Your job is to answer 10 questions in that 60 seconds.
Which means you've got 6 seconds per question. Simple.
How easy is that? You only have to use one letter, though. And we've got Daniel on the line to have a crack this morning. Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Very well. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Good, Daniel-san. Good. How are you?
I'm hoping to beat the jandal.
Yeah, beat the jandal.
You want to give it the jandal? Yeah. Did you used to like the Karate Kid movie when you were a bit younger?
I did.
Yeah. How many times in your life have you been called Daniel-san?
I'd be very rich.
Exactly. Well, Daniel-san, wax on, wax off. Just stay focused,
my
okay?
goodness.
And I'm going to give you the letter M, which has got nothing to do with the karate or Daniel or anything else. But hey,
for the best.
I just like it. It's M. So you've got 60 seconds, my friend, to answer 10 questions. But before you do that,
that's M for mother.
Yes,
good idea.
M for Mary. Now, just before you do that, what is your favourite topping on toast?
Well, I love Vegemite.
Classic.
Nice. Are you a butter man, a margarine man, or a straight on guy?
Either.
Yeah, right.
Not fussy.
No, that's the Australian way not to be fussy.
Whatever's softer.
Whatever is softer.
Whatever's softer.
But sometimes butter can be a bit hard. It doesn't
That's
spread
correct.
well.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
If it comes out of the fridge, it's the butter's too hard
Because
sometimes.
if it rips the toast, that's the worst case scenario, right?
Yes, exactly.
It is. Okay. Well, in that case, we might be getting ready. You're ready to give it the jandal. You've been playing along with us, have you?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, this is how it works. We aren't allowed any double up. So that will be the only rule, really, is you can't answer the same question with the same answer. But apart from that, it's pretty simple.
And here we go. I've got the 10 questions ready,
got them.
and the answers all start with an M for Mary. Are you ready, Daniel-son?
Let's go.
A cartoon character.
Mickey Mouse.
A European city.
Maples. No.
A famous female.
Madonna.
Wow. A hobby.
Mechanics.
Yeah, that can be a hobby. A foreign language.
Well, you got me.
Pass.
A kind of dance.
Macarena.
Yes. 4-letter word.
Mend.
A musical instrument.
Mandolin.
Something that you'd find in the ocean.
Mussel.
A Bible character.
Methuselah.
Yeah, and a foreign language.
Oh!
Mexican.
Mexican would have been
Oh, well, no, they speak Spanish, but good try.
Mother Hubbard.
That was actually very tough. Here's some answers.
Okay, yeah.
Malay. Like, who thinks of
Oh,
Malay
we
as a
don't
language?
think of that.
Maori, Māori, they've got their own
yeah,
language.
yeah.
Mongolian. I never think of Mongolian as a
No.
language. And Maltese. That was a tough one, Daniel's son. I'll tell you what, if you'd answered that, you would have been...
That would have been like that kick at the end.
What would I have won? A car, a trip around the world?
Probably. Yeah, all of the above. Maybe a karate outfit and a headband.
If you had won, but unfortunately you didn't on this occasion, so none of those things. But brilliant job. Well done. Will you play again with us another day, Daniel son?
Absolutely. We've got to get 10 out of 10 next time.
Okay, beautiful. Consider this the warm-up, and next time you come home for that kick.
Go and practice your praying mantis kicks, yeah, because they win everything.
That's what you need at the end of the show. Oh, Daniel, thank you so much for playing with us. Beat the toaster.
Have a blessed day, guys.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's how you play Beat the Toaster. If you would like to jump in and have a go, it's pretty easy. Just send us a text.
That wasn't easy, Phil. That was tough.
Sorry, I'm trying to talk it up here, Andy. Have a go. 0447 488 316. Or if you're listening in the app, you can just click text and it comes through.
There you go.
Studio.
Send us. We love text.
We do love it.
I'm manning the text today too, so you're getting quick replies if you're texting us today.
That's right. Andy's talking up his
My texting skills. Well, I said it earlier. I'm the Shane Warne of Christianity. I'm a good
my
texter.
goodness.
I'll send a text and receive a text.
Andy.
As long as I'm awake, you'll get a response.
Well, yeah.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekkie show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast.
Well, Phil, so happy to have LT Hopper with us. He is the Church Partnership Director with the Katoomba Christian Convention, an incredible Christian organisation in New South Wales. And there's some upcoming conferences which we want to hear all about. LT, welcome to Rise and Shine.
Mate, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Wonderful. And look, there are a couple of, I know, very exciting KCC events. I mean, there's lots that happen across the year, but I know August is quite a busy time. One of these events I went to last year, so I can say it's a wonderful gathering. There's a one for women called One Love. I went to that one. And Robbo, who many of our Rise and Shine listeners will know, he actually went to the base camp. And that's a bit lot colder. So the men go and they camp. The women, we were doing it in style. We were well fed and very warm. But they're coming up again this year, I think, LT.
Yes, they are, indeed. So, yes, One Love. Well, first up, actually, this Saturday, we have a men's conference called Base Camp, which we do twice, actually. So we do a city version, which is this Saturday, going to be held at the Roundhouse at New South Wales Uni, that men can still get tickets for.
Right.
And then the following Saturday, we actually repeat that for men up on our site in Katoomba. But that's an overnighter, so we do it Friday night and Saturday. So it's just
for the hardcore men.
So good for men to get away.
LT, for people who've not even heard of the Katoomba Christian Convention before, tell us the heart and the intent behind KCC.
Look, KCC's a ministry that is on about seeing people's lives transformed by Jesus Christ through the powerful preaching of his word. And we see that happen every year. We had a great time in April with our Easter convention and then our KIC convention with, 4,000 or 5,000 teenagers over 3 weekends, another one coming up in September. And, just great stories of especially teenagers coming to Christ for the first time and others just being equipped and encouraged and going away full of God's love and joy.
One of the things that surprised me about KCC was just how long these camps have been going. Can you remind us how long KCC have been holding Christian camps for?
Oh, look, it's over 100 years,
yeah,
actually. Yeah, in the mountains.
Wow. A long time.
Began under the banner of Christian Convention in 1903. Sort of out of that Keswick Convention tradition in England.
I'm wondering, while we've got you, LT, because I'm imagining back a church camp 100 years ago versus one right now. What do we know about what those very first camps were like and what the difference might be to, I'm imagining now they would be like, look, Cherie, you've got it so well if they went back forward in time. What were the original camps like?
Well, it was actually just a family that used to come down from Queensland and stay in Katoomba, and they just started inviting people to their house for an annual Bible study over a weekend. And then it just turned into being lots of people. So they had, a tent on the tennis court. And then we were gifted a property which we now have. So then, they used to have a marquee on the oval with, the dirt floor. And if it rained, it was always pretty muddy. Yeah, so to now, I mean, I wouldn't say it's luxury, but, we do have an auditorium, permanent auditorium, and, loads more people.
Well, and isn't it a great testimony that, something that's more than 100 years old is reaching young people, that 1,000 young people have registered for Spark, for your Youth and Young Adults Conference, and that is a great testament, LT, to not only you but the team around you, and obviously that God is working through KCC, that you are reaching young people. Very encouraging.
Yeah, it's an absolute privilege just to be part of it and to be serving. And, God is alive, God's working, bringing people to himself. It's a real blessing. And so I really hope people can join us in August.
Wonderful.
For the men's conference, base camp, or women's.
So exciting to hear what God is doing through KCC and their upcoming camps as well. And 100 years in the making. Thank you so much for joining us on Rise and Shine.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, that is wonderful. So if you would like to find out more about those events, so there's the One Love Women's event, base camp for men. I mean, they don't get to Everest. But
the Youth and Young Adults Camp, Spark, and all the information about all these camps and all the wonderful things that KCC do is on their website, Fel, which is kcc.org.au.
We're caffeinated and ready to face the day. This is Rise and Shine on Vision.
So one of the texts that's come through from Katerina in Kapunda is a weather-related text, and I thought maybe I could start doing a shout-out for you to do the weather for me. I could offload this role of having to do the weather across the nation.
Now, where's Kapunda?
Kapunda's in South Australia, and she says here, we've had a very frosty morning. It took ages to defrost the windscreen. She could hear ice cracking when the windows were wound down, so she could see. So it's pretty chilly in Kapunda.
You think?
Well, just how chilly is it? If you're wondering.
Here we go.
So it's 3.2, but it feels like 1.6.
I would have thought it felt like sub-zero today, Phil, with
once
ice
you
on the
start
windscreen.
getting, because I think you have to know what you're doing with that. Like near us, even I had a friend, and they were saying that's in the Barossa Valley region of South Australia, where we've been talking as Kapunda. But and they were talking about how they were tempted to throw water on it. And I believe you don't throw water. Oh, you do. You've got to be careful anyway. So
I've had ice on the windscreen, and it takes a while to get it off. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. You scrape it off, I guess. Yeah, I think you're supposed to scrape it off, but it is tricky. I did the whole window down trick as well and just stuck the head out the window, and that was a bit fresh, let's say, on the face. Woke me up.
Well, there you go. Well, Katerina, if you're waking up and hopefully you've got that defrosted now on the windscreen, you're on your way. Good morning, and thanks for jumping in and helping with the weather this morning.
And I'm in Jeremiah chapter 31, Phil, and we are now up to verse 3, which has got to be one of my favourite verses, I'm going to say, in the whole Bible, Phil. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
The Lord has appeared of old to me, saying, yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
Beautiful.
Therefore, with loving kindness, I've drawn you. What an amazing scripture about God, about his love for us as people.
That is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it
good?
A good reminder for you if you're sitting at home today and you're thinking, God loves you with an everlasting, enduring love.
And he makes it personal. It's not just a general statement like, for God so loved the world, but yes, I, the Lord, have loved you with an everlasting love. So it personalises the love of God to us. It's so good.
Beautiful.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
It seems that the jandal's being used in all sorts of different situations. We've talked about transactions, perhaps. You could have a jandal. Getting attention seems to be a big one. When a mum or even a preacher, you've seen it in action, needed attention and used a jandal. I thought that was hilarious.
The flying jandal in Africa.
The flying jandal that just to get your attention and say, hey, let's just settle down.
Time to be quiet.
To be quiet. But so we have.
Or can you handle a jandal? That was another one. Can you handle the jandal?
Can you do this? Can you handle it?
Can you hack it?
Can you hack it? So there's a few different terms. Belle, we're going to let you have the last word for us here. Belle, you're on the line. Have you been giving it the jandal this morning?
Well, I'm not going to give the jandal to the cat because he's sleeping. But
that would be mean.
Yeah, same thing. Look, Kiwi mamas, get out of the way if their kids are sassing their mum, because it's like a missile.
Really?
You know? Yeah, and it's just like this torpedo that just comes through the air. If you're in a Kiwi house and the kid's giving the mum sass, get out of the way, because it just... And it never fails to hit the kid. And if you're in the way, you're going to cop it.
Because I had I still have a Kiwi mum. Hi, mum, if you're listening.
Yeah.
She's never...
Yeah.
She never gave you the
She's
jandal?
never thrown a jandal at me.
Oh, Fel.
What a good mum.
I feel like you've been neglected as a Kiwi child.
I have no idea this whole thing was happening in houses around me.
You're missing out.
That didn't ever impact me.
All the other kids at
How
school
beautiful.
had copped the jandal and you hadn't. It's almost unfair.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Did you take it on, Belle? Did you start getting your thong off and throwing your jandal?
No, well, see, I had a good child, and I didn't have to. But yeah, it just seems to be, I don't know, like just a thing. Like I had Kiwi friends, and if there was any sassing going on, I moved out of the way.
Yeah, right. You just step silently. If there's a side step, you look and you just wait.
Yeah, just got out of the way because, I knew it was going to happen. And when you started to talk about it yesterday, I had a bit of a giggle and thought, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So they're almost like laser-guided jandals that just go shoo, and they never miss their target, huh?
Yeah, and then ninja mothers.
Really?
Ninja mothers.
You know what I've thought, though, Belle? There is a use for this because sometimes in the studio, Andy and I are a bit separated by this massive table and his equipment and stuff. I've often thought, how do I get his attention? Maybe I just need a sneaky Vision jandal that I'm throwing across the studio.
Well, as long as it's got the Vision logo on it, it's all above board, Fel. Yeah, there'll be no workplace health and safety issues whatsoever. No HR reports. No.
No, well,
it's the Vision jandal.
What else would it do? Apart from
you could just look at him and point to your foot as well.
That's right.
I could just do a little tap with the jandal, get his attention.
Yeah.
This could be coming your way, buddy.
Is that what the Kiwi mamas do? They just point at the foot and the kids know, oh, jandal coming.
Yeah. So no words. Just look at him and point to your foot.
I love it.
I think because in our house, jandals, when you think about it, I think of the same in the Bible with sandals. They are not like clean instruments. Like they get pretty dirty. So my kids would just be disgusted that something that's touched someone's foot is coming flying at potentially their face. I think that would be enough. Like gross.
Enough deterrent.
Yeah.
Well, it's called peace through strength, Phil. That's what it is.
Peace through strength.
Just point at the foot.
I used to just tell Miana if my eyebrows starting to get a little bit upset.
Oh.
And she'd go, yes. And I'd say, well, you need to stop then.
Yeah. Look at the eyebrows. Look at the jandal. Watch the jandal.
Yeah.
Okay. If my hand's nearing it, it's time to tone it down.
That's
kids.
it. That's it.
Well, parenting 101. Brilliant.
Yes, you try that with Andy. Just go,
Andy. Oh, Belle, we love it. Thank you so much.
No worries. You have a good day.
Oh, thank you, Belle. So there you go. Maybe a jandal becomes like just rather than me poking a stick or something, you just there's an opportunity to gain attention.
Yeah, well, it's like those experiments, like Pavlov's dogs, and if they get the buzz a couple of times, they know, okay, don't go there again.
No.
I'm going to stay away from that. That's danger zone.
Oh, well, we're not going to hurt.
Don't be disrespecting mum.
No.
Don't be giving her any sass, as Belle said.
Oh, dear. But I do still think Scott McLaughlin says it the best.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first and gave some jandal. Yeah.
I still think he
plucked her in first and gave her some jandal.
He still has the best use of the word jandal, I think. Well, we've come to the end of the show, and tomorrow's a bit special, actually, because Andy and I, we're heading off for some, what would you call it, a conference and training.
Professional development,
there you go. That's what it's called. Professional development is the official term for it. So we won't be here.
All the Christian radio breakfast announcers in Australia.
Not all of them, a lot of them.
A lot are gathering together, and we're going to be developed professionally.
Imagine, I am excited to see.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like, but if there's not much going on there, I'll just do a few dances.
It's got to be fun.
I'll just bust out the interpretive dance, and everyone can interpret what that means.
It's a bit quiet.
That's it.
Suddenly just dancing in the background.
It might work for someone.
I'll just leave him. I'll be like, he's not with me.
The staff of the hotel will probably enjoy it. Oh, what's that weirdo doing over there?
Oh, you know what I need? A jandal. That's the moment where I need a jandal.
Shut it down with the jandal. Take your jandal, Fel. Or maybe if we're not happy at the professional development, we can throw the jandal at the presenters.
No, there is not going to be any violence.
We'll give them jandal.
Oh, dear.
Are we hiring a car from the airport?
No.
We need to pray about who's
it's
driving.
Okay, it's all good.
Who's giving it the Jandal?
We have professional drivers this whole time. Robbo is going to be us tomorrow morning,
sure?
and I trust him. Yes, I am.
Well, I
very
just
sure
hope he doesn't have an episode because then I'm going
he's
to have
all
to take
good.
the wheel.
No, there'll be no need. I've all sorted that out, so Andy's nowhere near the car.
Because you know I'll be giving it the Jandal in Sydney in the high car.
It is time for us. No, there's no high car in Sydney. But we're going to be leaving you in capable hands, wonderful hands. The they've done breakfast before.
Yep.
Shelley.
Matt and Shelley.
And Matt Prater.
It's going to be a good day.
It could be a riot, actually.
We're going to be listening to some of it too, aren't we?
Well, I think we'll do our best to, yes. But that's where they'll be looking after you, be in safe hands Thursday, Friday. We'll be back on Monday, more developed.
Yes, way more developed, Phil.
So whatever you're doing today, we pray your blessing upon it. And we'll be back on Monday. Bless you.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.